So Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog confirmed that The Last of Us Part 3 has pretty much been canned for good, and maybe that the disaster that was The Last of Us Part 2 had something to do with it. Or maybe if Neil Druckmann actually cared about his franchise, he wouldn't have made Abby look like Brock Lesnar. Or maybe he wouldn't have had the girl beast Abby take a golf club to the most beloved character in the series, who was Joel, 20 minutes into the game.
You serious?
Naughty Dog did a lot of celebrating when the game sold well at launch, but unfortunately for Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog, that didn't last long. It turns out that the leaks before the game launched were spot on.
And as a game creator, I look around at kind of what we are making and what are going to be her role models from the stories, and I don't like what I see. More specifically, I'm talking about our female characters. And whether we want to admit it or not, these are role models. And yet we sexualize, we objectify, we marginalize, and we reduce these female characters to a lot less than they can be. And this is coming from a guy that almost made a really misogynistic game. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. So once this thing failed and I had this awakening, almost exactly at the same time, this Kickstarter happened about the tropes versus women in video games. And while you might argue with the way it delivers its message or whether every point is exact, you can't argue with just the pattern that you see in the industry. So I was really intrigued by this. The videos for the video games hadn't come out yet, but I watched the rest of Anita's videos, and I realized it's not just a problem in games, it's actually throughout entertainment.
Don't bet on The Last of Us Part 3, says Neil Druckmann. It sounds like Naughty Dog is ready to move on. Ahead of The Last of Us Season 2's April 13 debut, co-runner Neil Druckmann was rather negative about the possibility for a third installment in the original video game series he wrote and directed at Naughty Dog. Quote, "I was waiting for this question," Druckmann said, sighing at the mere mention of a hypothetical Last of Us Part 3. I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on it there being more of Last of Us. This could be it. Now Naughty Dog is left with nothing. They quit the Uncharted series, and now they have canned The Last of Us. But at least Uncharted 4 ended on a high note, unlike The Last of Us. Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann will regret this, because there's nothing they have left that is great. Also, Season 2 of The Last of Us show will completely flop because everyone knows what's coming for Pedro Pascal in Episode 2 or 3, because now there will be no Part 3 to make anything better. But Naughty Dog's case, they'll make it worse because Neil Druckmann will bend the knee to the woke mind virus any chance that he gets.